In this video, we're going to talk about multiplying polynomials. Our learning goals are for you to be able to model a product using algebra tiles, to find the product of a binomial using distributive property, or also known as FOIL. Some of you may have heard it in that acronym. And the last learning goal is to expand and simplify and then find the product of a binomial. The key terms that I'm posting are more like prior knowledge / key terms you should already know. So if you don't know them, you should definitely familiarize yourself with them before jumping into this video because the terms are going to come up. Here's our list. So we have polynomial, monomial, binomial, trinomial, like terms, distributive property, factors, and greatest common factors. So please make sure you're familiar with those terms. Okay, let's talk about modeling a binomial product using algebra tiles or algebra tiles. Okay, so when we're modeling a binomial product, you can kind of think of it as a rectangle, so like a length times width situation. And each one of these is going to represent, oops, give me one sec. Here we go, this should work now. But I lost my color. That's okay. Okay, so each of these is going to represent a part of that rectangle. So the way that I like to set this up is I like to draw two lines. Like this. And I'm going to take each part of this binomial and put it on one side of my rectangle that I'm forming. So I've got x plus 2 over here. And at the top we can do 2x plus 3. I just had to move that whole thing down there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, using specific sized tiles, I'm going to model each of these binomials. So let's start with x plus 2. So for x, we're going to use like a rectangular-like shape, like so. Okay? And then whenever we're representing just a number, we're just use a square. So here I have 2, so I'm just going to draw 2 squares. 1, 2. Oops, square. My shapes are a little bit crooked. Okay, and now I'm going to model the top one, which is 2x. So I'm going to need 2 rectangles. 1. That does not look like a rectangle. What is going on? It's like a bullet bill from Super Mario. 1, 2. And then I've got 3. Oop. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we are going to essentially expand by kind of using the distributive property in a visual kind of way. So let me grab some colors here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be multiplying. So if you remember, I have this rectangle here and this rectangle here, right? So here I've got x times x is x squared. I'm going to continue from the top. It's almost like Battleship in a way, lining up coordinates. I've got another x times x, which is x squared. The next one I have is x times 1, which is just x. And since that happens 2 more times here, I can just draw more X tiles. Now let's go at the top. I'll grab a different color. So I've got X times 1 again here. So that's going to be X. And then I've got it happen one more time. We'll just continue. That's X times 1. And then X times 1 again. And then we've got the 1s. So usually I do the X's first. So you could do this from the top or from the side. It's up to you. So you got 1 times 1 is 1. So that is going to happen for each of these tiles. And now what I've done is create a visual representation of what the product of this binomial is going to be. So if I count what I have in here, how many X squareds do I have? How many of these do I have? 1, 2. So I have 2X squared. How many X tiles do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got plus 7X. And then how many 1 tiles do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Pause the video here, and if you know how to do FOIL, go ahead and do it and see if you get the same product as I did with my algae tiles. In fact, we can do it together. I will just move our first learning goal out and our second learning goal in, and we can do it at the same time. I'm going to write it here on the right hand side. So I have X plus 2 and 2X plus 3. So what we're going to do is use the distributive property here to find each binomial product. So what I'm going to do, let me grab another color, is go first, then I'm going to go with my first term to the outside, and then I'm going to use my inside term, inside and inside, and then last. That's how we get FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. Okay, so let's use the distributive property and see if we get the same result as the algae tiles. So I have X times 2X, which is 2X squared. I'm going to run out of space there. Just erase this. There we go. I'll start down here. Okay. Then I have X times 3, which is 3X. Then I have 2X, 2 times 2X, which is going to be positive 4X. And then I have 2 times 3, which is going to give me positive 6. And now we can collect like terms and simplify. So that equals 2x squared plus, here are my like terms that I'm going to collect. So 3x plus 4x is going to give us 7x plus 6. Voila! We got the same product using 2 different approaches. I know some people that really like using algae tiles. It helps them to visualize what's going on. So that's something that you can do. Or you can stick with the distributive property method. You got to use what works for you. Let's continue by trying to find the product of these binomials. I'm not going to do A because we just did one that had 2 positives in it. So let's do B. it's got a negative and a positive inside of it. So we have x minus 2x plus 4. Okay, so we're going to use FOIL once again. So first, outside, inside, last. I will draw it. First, outside, inside, last. Now some of you may be able to do this quite quickly in your head, which is also fine, unless on a test that asks you to, show your work. You definitely have to show your steps. So here we go. Oh, I should label this as B. So I've got x times x equals, okay, so we've got x squared. Then I have negative 2 times x, which is going to give me negative 2x. Then I've got negative 2 times x again. Oh, sorry, hang on. My apologies. We did x times x, then we're doing x times 4, then we're doing negative 2 times x, and then we're doing negative 2 times 4. There we go. Sorry guys, it's like 4 in the morning. Still sleeping. Okay. Collect my like terms. X squared. So I have positive 4x minus 2x, which is just going to give me positive 2x. And then I have minus 8. Let's do one more. Now we've got 3x plus 7 and x minus 5. Alright, so first, what am I going to get? 3x times x is 3x squared. Then I'm going to have outside, okay, 3x times negative 5 is negative 15x. Then we've got inside, positive 7 times x, so we got plus 7x, and then we've got last. Ooh, color came out funny. There we go. Okay, so positive 7 times negative 5 is going to give us negative 35. Perfect. I see that I've got like terms here, so we're going to simplify, and I'm going to get 3x squared, so negative 15 plus 7 is negative 8, and then x minus 35. Moving to our third learning goal, we're going to expand and simplify and then find the product of a binomial. So this happens when we have a number that is in front of the brackets. We're going to continue to use FOIL, so if you've got that down packed, then you're going to be able to do this just fine. Okay, so let's set up our first question here. We've got a negative 2, 4x minus 5, and 7x minus 6. Now what we're going to do with that negative 2 is we're just going to bring it down on each line as we use the distributive property. We're not going to touch it just yet, so let's just bring it down a line. And now let's use FOIL. So I have 4x times 7x. That's going to give me, definitely still using our bracket here, 28x squared. Then I've got 4x times negative 6. That's going to give me negative 24x. And I've got negative 5 times 7x. That's going to give me negative 35x. And then I have negative 5 times negative 6, which is going to give me positive 30. Now we're not going to apply the negative 2 just yet. First, let's continue to simplify and collect like terms. So we'll bring it down one more line, and I'm going to have 28x squared, and then I have my like terms, negative 24x minus 35x, which is going to give me negative 59x plus 30. Now that we reach this point, we're going to multiply everything in the brackets by negative 2. So that means we're going to multiply this by negative 2, this by negative 2, and this by negative 2. So let's go ahead and do that now. That negative 2 times 28x squared equals negative 56. Oops, my iPad. I think we're back. Is this working? Where was I? 56? Beautiful. X squared. Okay, negative 2 times negative 59 is going to give me positive 118. And then we have x. And then negative 2 times positive 30 is going to give me negative 60. Okay, let's try B. So for B, I have 2 times x plus 7 is x minus 3 minus 4x plus 3 is 2x minus 1. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to focus on the brackets first, apply the distributive property, and then we will deal with what is outside the brackets. So I'll bring my 2 down one line, and then we're going to FOIL. So x times x is x squared, and then x times negative 3 is negative 3x. And I've got positive 7 times x, and then I've got positive 7 times negative 3, which is going to give me negative 21. I'm going to close my bracket, and then I'm going to continue. Minus, and on this side I'm going to open a bracket. 4x times 2x is 6x squared. And then I've got 4x times negative 1, which is negative 4x. I've got 3 times 2x, which is going to give me positive 6x. And then 3 times negative 1 is just going to give me negative 3. Okay. What am I supposed to do here? I have to collect my like terms. So I see I have like terms here and like terms over here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got 2, I've got x squared plus 4x minus 21 minus, oh, I see I made a mistake here. 1 second, let me get my eraser. What did I do? I was adding. 4x times 2x is 8x. Here we go. 8x squared. And then negative 4x plus 6x is positive 2x. And then I've got minus 3. Okay, so now we are set to take our number outside the brackets and apply it to what's inside the brackets. I do want to remind you that right over here, where there's a negative sign, you can just imagine that there is a 1. And that is going to be applied to everything inside the brackets here. And we know that when we apply a negative inside the brackets, our signs are going to change. Okay, let's start with the 2. So 2 times x squared is going to give me, ooh, there we go, 2x squared. I need my equal signs here, guys. It's going to give me 2x squared plus 8x minus 42. And then I've got negative 1 times 8x is going to make it negative for me. So I'm going to have negative 8x squared. Negative 1 times positive 2x is going to make it negative 2x, and then 2 negatives is going to give me a positive, so negative 1 times negative 3 is going to give me positive 3. So now we can do what? Do you see any like terms? Right? We can collect them and simplify. If you want to rewrite your equation at this point, you can, but I'm just going to do it mentally. So I know that I'm going to get 2x minus 8x squared. 2x squared minus 8x squared is going to give me negative 6x squared. And then I have a positive 8x minus 2x. That's going to give me positive 6x. And then I have negative 42 plus 3 is going to give me negative 39. And that's it.